would choose to be with you. That's if the choice were mine to make. But you can make decisions too. And you can have this heart to break. Do 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 do. And so it goes, and so it goes. And you're the only one who knows.
I'd like to welcome Ajay to the podium, who will be speaking for the class of 2012.
Testing. Sounds pretty good. Good evening to all the families, friends, and faculty of St. George's. How'd you like that alliteration? It took 6 hours by itself. First, let me preface this speech by making clear that I am by no means the valedictorian of my class. I'm not even kind of close. And I'm very honored to be speaking on behalf of such an amazing and unique group of people. Second, I'd like to thank you all collectively for attending this graduation. And this is a pretty big deal for us in the class of 2012. And we especially appreciate your attendance now that we are wearing graduation goggles. And for those of you who don't know, graduation goggles refers to the feeling when a time in one's life is about to end, in which everything becomes sepia-toned, moves in slow motion, and is accompanied by Sarah McLachlan's I Will Remember You. Now, actually starting this speech was extremely difficult for me. I didn't quite know what direction to take, as I didn't know exactly how to uniquely characterize our class. Our class is passionate. We have devoted athletes who constantly dominate in track, cross-country, volleyball, soccer, equestrian events, and other sports. We have kids who have spent summers and countless hours devoting their time to their interests, including film, art, science, the outdoors, debate, Diablo 3, and photography. Our class is pretty intelligent. We have distinguished students who challenge themselves with AP courses, place in large competitions like the Chemistry Olympiad or the State Economics Challenge, and contribute to St. George's very advertised high SAT scores. In the senior lounge, atypical for a high school class, we frequently had discussions about contemporary events like the presidential election. In fact, I think my class would agree with me that only intelligent and productive conversations took place in the senior lounge. Our class is hardworking. Nah, I'm just kidding. Anyways, our class is many different things, and trying to highlight one particular aspect or theme of our class was a very overwhelming task. In fact, I kind of wanted to cop out with the vacuous, cliche-filled speech route, littering my speech with sayings like, Webster's defines graduation as, and then maybe throw in a, the world is our oyster, and then conclude dramatically with, every end is a new beginning. But the more I thought about our class, the easier I could see the invaluable trait which greatly distinguishes us from the thousands of other graduating classes. And that is, our class is open-minded and accepting of difference. Story time. When I was in the awkward stage of middle school, I was pretty self-conscious about my identity. For one, I was a second-generation Indian American in a mostly Caucasian city. And part of me always felt like I didn't belong with my homogenous friends from Spokane. And as a result, I identified myself as only American. Beyond my heritage, I was a pretty shy and attention-wanting kid, and attempted to fit in by styling with my hair with, I swear, pounds of gel. Seriously, I looked like a falcon. Listening to really bad but popular music, like Lil Jon or 3 Days Grace, no offense to all you fans, and having superficial conversations about the uncool classmates. Of course, I was never really happy acting like this tool, and subsequently became introverted and had pretty low self-confidence. But sometime after transitioning to high school, I grew out of that phase, and I sought to focus my time more on my interests, which at the time were debate, biking, reading, and the internet. Ironically enough, it was at this time that I actually formed real and lasting relationships. Not only did I make great friends in the activities I participated in, I connected with classmates who engaged in entirely different passions because I had become at least a little more interesting and could share my now unique experiences. My class welcomed my difference, and eventually I reacquired my self-confidence and proudly accepted both my interests and my nationality. I am hardly a phenomenon in our class. Our class is comprised of a very diverse group of people. People of various ethnic backgrounds, languages, sexualities, interests, and personalities. We have students from China, students from Korea, kids fascinated with sports to kids fascinated with Jim Morrison. In the end, despite these differences, and despite the intolerant world we live in, our class is appreciative of every single member. Coming from a fairly small school definitely played a role in this. In a small class size of 30, we have all grown up together, and we all know each other extremely well. Probably too well. As Alex Saucier put it, our class is like a family. Duh. And the relationships we've developed are infinitely stronger than the inconsequential differences that exist between us. For those of us who went on the senior trip, we can all agree that the indiscriminate love was very apparent in the carabiner exchange that took place the first night. But that might have been destroyed after the kickball game the second night. Only half destroyed. One night, earlier this year, when I was probably procrastinating my college applications, or maybe my calc homework, I was browsing Reddit, which is essentially a giant website where anyone can post articles, photos, stories, topics to discuss, and so forth. One post that caught my attention was from a man who claimed to be dying of cancer with only 51 hours to live, telling readers that they could ask him anything. Someone asked him, "What message or lesson would you like to give to us and the rest of the world?" And this man's response really resonated with me. He said, "Nothing we have is worth hurting anyone else for. It's all fleeting, people. Stop seeing race, color, sex, religion, etc. They're all just people, and if you try to love them, you won't lose anything." The importance of accepting and understanding mind is paramount in today's era. In this globalization where people of different backgrounds, cultures, personalities, and religions are living together, and where the world has become multicultural and full of diversity, establishing tolerance and harmony has become very crucial to maintaining peace. I have full confidence that the class of 2012 will thrive in college, not because we are passionate or intelligent, although those will definitely help, but because we are open-minded. Most of us will undoubtedly go to larger and more diverse settings where we are exposed to more variance. But with the sense of community we've developed at St. George's, we will easily make close friends, encounter new experiences, and eventually form deep relationships with a whole new set of people. Yet, I also have full confidence that while we are meeting new people, making new friends, joining frats, etc., we'll stay together as a class. We've grown up together, we've suffered together, we've taken pictures with Jack Shannon together. I see you, bud, we're gonna get another one. And we've gone camping like 1,000 times together, mostly in the rain. And although we'll be visitors on the St. George's campus, our class isn't defined by the setting we interact on. Rather, the class of 2012 is defined by the lasting sense of union that exists between us no matter where we are. Thank you to the friends and family for all that you've done and for giving us the support to be graduating here today. Thank you to the faculty for cultivating our open minds and for being some of the nicest and most approachable people we have ever met. And lastly, thanks to the class